When I came down here as a kid, there was nothing here but factories and things. And now I come down here and see how beautiful they've made it with the walkway and the benches. You can sit and look at the river, watch the boats go by. It's just fantastic.
The way they did the Riverwalk here, it brings more people into the center of the city. You know what I mean? Before, it was so bad out here, you know what I mean? Only the fishermen would come down there. Now people are bringing their kids down and, you know, all that stuff. People are taking their lunch breaks and coming out here and walking during the day. So yeah, it's a gorgeous thing. Well, it's about time this shoreline looked as good as that shoreline.
It's like peaceful, like emotionally, you know, just calm. And then I also like that it's so close to like right there, the heart of downtown Detroit. So if you did want to like go have good food, it's over there, meet nice people.
You know, when it was my day, it was, you know, the 80s, and all there was Hart Plaza. Because what I've learned is that, you know, cities compete with one another for people to move there, for jobs, and you need to have these things. You need to have parks, you need to have transportation. A new generation is taking over and making some great improvements. So enjoy this great resource.
And so with the weather just being so beautiful, we decided to come out downtown, let the boys play in the sand, walk along the Riverwalk. I love the diversity. I love that it's clean. I love the programming for the kids.
This is just nice. It's something to do. And then with the cafe there, I was really happy about that too. Just because you never know when you need a snack with the kids around.
Now I can brag about my city and the people come down here and I have a visual representation to go along with the feeling that I have with it.
So look who I found who came biking up to the riverfront. Mark Wallace, he's the CEO of the Riverfront Conservancy. Mark, it's great to see you.
It's great to be here.
You know, we just heard from a lot of people, a lot of various people who come down here who really enjoy the water and everything that's been happening down here for the past couple of years. Does it still amaze you when you see the varied number of people that just love the space?
It's the best part of my job. I mean, if we'd built this and nobody showed up, we would have done something terribly wrong. And instead, we built this beautiful place where everyone comes together. People feel so proud of the city of Detroit when they come down here. And there's so many memories being made every day here on the Detroit Riverwalk.
What do you think it is?
I think there's something magic about the water. I think there's something about having a huge natural body of something that's bigger than you. I mean, 120 billion gallons of water go through here every single day. It's insane what this means to us on sort of a natural perspective. But I think it's also part of the history we have as an organization. The Detroit Riverfront Conservancy started building this in partnership with the citizens of Detroit. We had over 100 meetings before we put a shovel in the ground here, and we're really a place that is very vocal about being welcoming to every single person from the city, from the region. Everyone's welcome here. And
everyone has a little something to do, something
That's right.
a little different, and the different kind of programs that you have down here too.
That's right. Oh, it's amazing. I mean, you see people teaching their kids how to ride bikes. You see kids looking into the wetland, counting the number of frogs and turtles that they can see. It's just a really special spot.
And an experience for some kids who maybe haven't had the chance to experience outdoors and nature like this before.
Oh, that's right. I mean, there are so many kids living in the city of Detroit whose lives are just permeated with stress. You know, they live in dangerous environments sometimes. Oftentimes their schools are not the best schools, their families have struggles. Everyone can come to the riverfront and just be relieved of that stress. It kind of comes off of you. I almost get the feeling, looking at the riverfront, similar to what I do when I'm watching a campfire at night. There's something bigger than you, something just releases. And the Riverfront Conservancy has been able to deliver this place to the citizens here.
It's also the great equalizer as well,
That's
you know.
Right.
So let's talk a little bit about future plans, and especially the West Riverfront and the project to finally, after a year and getting ideas of what people would like to see, you finally have a plan in place and a really big designer who's going to come in and work on this.
We do. We're really excited to have Michael Van Valkenburg come in to design this space. And his name 100 years from now is going to be as known as Frederick Law Olmsted. I mean, he's going to be one of those legends in our community and around the country. He's partnered with David Adjaye, who is an African-born son of a diplomat who was recently knighted by the Queen of England. I mean, these are folks who are really serious designers and architects. West Riverfront Park is going to blow everyone's mind. I love looking at the pictures. I love talking to people about it. When we finally get it open, it's really going to change a lot of people's lives. And it's a really special space. Van Valkenburg has kind of three big moves. And his first one is, instead of just building right up to the edge of the river, he is proposing to chop off a huge section of the edge of the water. And it's a place where the river used to come before. and build a swimming hole, kind of a beach inside of the site, which would be amazing. That will also be able to be ice skated on in the wintertime, which is pretty amazing as well. So that's kind of step one. Step two is he's partnered with a team out of Denmark who does these really iconic playground areas, things that you can't ever forget. If you're a kid and you see one of these things, it's the place you always want to go back to. So he's going to bring that team in here to build this amazing playground that I think will draw kids from all over Southeast Michigan. And then the third move is David Adje is building a gorgeous, really elegant pavilion structure. And that's going to be a spot where you can have basketball games, you can have educational programming, a lot of opportunities for recreation and activity. So it's going to be a really great environment with a lot of interesting things to do.
I think when you hear about a high-class designer like that coming into a space like this in Detroit, but yet still listening to what people really want to see here, and that's really important to make sure that people have input on what they're going to be able to use every day.
That's right. We want this place to be full of people every single day, and that's key. I mean, the success is defined by the citizens who show up. It's not defined by how beautiful it is or how elegant the materials are, how expensive it is. None of that matters. That's just kind of getting the job done. But when people come, people start to make memories on West Riverfront Park. It's really going to be impactful for our community.
Okay, but when you talk about how much it will cost to do something like this, talk to us a little bit about the price tag, the fundraising, and then timeline.
These are major projects, and they require the support of a lot of people. And luckily here at the Conservancy, we have been blessed by great partners. General Motors, as the folks who built the first portion of the Riverwalk, Christy coming in with their $50 million challenge grant, and then the City of Detroit relocating the cement silos that used to be right where we're standing here. We have continued to get support from people all over Southeast Michigan. The government's been very supportive. The State DNR Trust Fund has been very supportive of us. But we have to saddle up for another process to raise the money to finish this project. That park is envisioned as about a $50 million project, and we think with that type of investment we can really have a profound impact. Right now we have 3 million people a year come down to the riverfront. Maybe we increase that by 1 million or 2 as we start to add on to West Riverfront Park.
Okay, and so timeline, what are we thinking in terms of timing?
So we're going back with the community. We've started this design process by listening to the community, and we're back in front of the community saying, hey, these are the ideas that the folks in New York came up with. Come back to Detroit and let's see if this is exactly what we want. How do we tweak this? How do we make it exactly what we need? So that process will continue throughout the end of this year and next year. We're hoping to be in the ground in 2020 and opening up for business in 2022.
It's going to be exciting to see how it all unfolds.
These are once in a lifetime opportunities. Most places don't have any space left over for parks. Most cities have, building. It's all full of use. We really have an opportunity to do something different here in Detroit.
You know, the Riverwalk is not just right here along this stretch. Also, you're a big bike rider. So I know that you've been on a DeQuinder cut a number of times that offshoots from here too.
No, it's amazing. And for us, the system is what makes us powerful. We have 3.5 miles of Riverwalk, but we have a 2-mile DeQuinder cut. We're about to do another 2-mile Joseph Campo Greenway as well. So that system becomes really powerful and really valuable.